So we're going to look at some of the parts of the guitar that you need to know. The first picture is going to be of the whole guitar. There are kind of three areas. You've got the head, the neck, and the body of a guitar. Those are kind of more general terms, but are used probably the most often. We're going to look at a picture that's close up of the body. This is going to show the sound hole of the guitar, also the pick guard, and the bridge. Again, those are things that I'm going to refer to, so it's helpful if you know what those are. And then this is of the head of the guitar, and you can see the tuning pegs, the nut, and the frets. And those are terms that I'll use quite a bit. So now we're going to talk about the strings and some standard tuning stuff. Guitars can be tuned to other notes, but we're not talking about that. So from the thickest, we have E, then A, D, G, B, and E. Once again, this goes from thickest to thinnest, and they can be tuned to other notes, but we're not going to talk about those right now anyway, because it's a little bit more advanced. So now we're going to talk about chord charts and then the C chord. So we're going to go over first how different resources will teach you how to play chords. So if you're looking at your hand, your first finger is going to be number 1, obviously. Okay, your middle finger is going to be number 2. Your third finger is going to be number 3, and then your fourth finger will be number 4. This is going to make a little bit more sense once we start looking at the different chord charts, but it's important to know what number each of your fingers is represented by, because that shows you where your fingers go on the fretboard. So these are a couple different examples of chord charts. I'm going to show you a more specific one when I show you the chord. We're going to ignore the X's and O's on top. That usually shows what strings you're playing, but we'll talk about that when it's more important later. The first chord I teach is the C chord because it's used in a lot of songs and it helps you stretch your hand. So if you're looking at your guitar, it's important to remember that the space underneath the nut and above that fret is going to be what's called the first fret. Second fret comes after that, third, and so on. So to play the C chord, your first finger is going to go on the first fret on the B string, your second finger is going to go on the second fret on the D string, and your third finger is going to go in the third fret on the A string. So when you put everything together, you're not going to play this top string here, you're just going to play the bottom 5 strings, and it'll sound like this. So now we're going to do some time exercises. We're going to start with some whole notes. If you don't know what the symbols on the screen mean, that's fine. Just follow what I'm playing. So like I said, we're going to start with some whole notes. So we'll play the C chord for 4 counts, and then we'll rest for 4 counts. We'll do that twice before we move on to the next thing. So I'm going to start my metronome, and we will let it count off for us. It'll go 4 counts. We'll play 4 counts. We'll pause 4 counts. So on your marks. So now we're going to do something similar with half notes. So we're going to play for 2 counts, then we're going to hold for 2 counts. Then we're going to play for 2 counts, then we're going to hold for 2 counts. So we'll let the metronome count us off again. We'll play for 2 counts, hold for 2 counts, and then we'll repeat that, okay? So, ready, set. Okay, so the last row we're going to do is going to involve quarter notes. It's going to look a little different, but it will be relatively similar. So we're going to play, rest, play, rest, play, 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 play. So just like the other times, we'll let the metronome count us off and then we'll take off. All right, ready? We'll go ahead and do that one more time. Okay, well, that's all for this time. I will probably post the next video when I have my next day off. So, adios.